Just a bit of a follow-up to what I was saying there about, this whole kind of shell game about Obama, and he stands there and he blames the Congress for gridlock, and then he brags about how he's had less executive orders than any other president in the modern era. Yeah, kind of doesn't really add up, right? One of the things we're talking about here is that a letter was sent from a bunch of senators, including Elizabeth Warren and Dick Durbin, um, to get the president to act on inversions. I don't want to. We don't need to get into the technicalities of that, but it's a thing that will help prevent tax cheats, right? So, um, starts off in a way that makes kind of logical sense, right? You have the progressive wing of the Democratic Party pushing the president to carry out an executive order for a progressive policy, and the president says that the Republican Congress should pass legislation on this progressive policy. And then they, point to, points in the past where the Republicans have passed legislation of this sort, completely ignoring the, political, the existing political climate, right? The reality of things, right? The Republican Party today is not what it was in 1994. And pretty clearly, the Democratic Party today is not what it was in 1994 either, right? It reinforces what I was saying, right? How can the president stand there and expect that the Republican Congress is going to pass legislation of this sort? And he even says it, He says that they would be unlikely to pass legislation that would upset their donors, which is just deflection. What he's actually saying is that it's unlikely that the president would pass legislation that would upset his donors, and then blaming it on the Congress. If the president had any interest at all in passing legislation of that sort, he wouldn't urge the Congress to do it, knowing full well that there's no chance that it ever will with the current composition. And then he stands up there and says that he can't get anything passed because the Congress won't do anything. When he could have resolved the issue and get the legislation passed with a stroke of a pen. Why isn't he doing it? Because he doesn't want to. It's that simple.